Good morning everybody, and once again welcome back to the channel. In today's video I want to show you and talk about optimizing analytics, storing Athena query metrics in Hudi for advanced analysis and audit purposes using AWS Glue. So let me ask you a question. A lot of companies are using Athena and it's great. It allows you to query your petabyte scale data using standard SQL. Now, what if you want to know if your Athena usage is increasing or decreasing month over month or year over year? How many queries are being fired by different work groups, right? So maybe you want to dive into deeper analytics inside, right? What was the total data scanned across the work group? What does it look like over the period of time, right? If you need insights to all those, you need to ingest them into Hudi Data Lake, and then you can run analytics. You can even go ahead and build dashboards out of it using AWS QuickSight. So without not talking too much, let me show you a complete hands-on guide. So before that, as you know, I do have a blog on LinkedIn as usual. Steps are listed, code materials are given here, everything is explained. So in case if you are interested, please come and follow the LinkedIn guide. All right, so we are about to go into the lab. So before that, again, quickly, right? So any queries you run on Athena, you can see in the recent queries, right? You can click on the next button, but all these insights are very, very crucial, right? You can derive a lot of value from this data. So we're gonna store all these insights into Hudi and then we'll derive analytics out of it, okay? So let me go to my labs, okay, over here. I am running Glue locally using the Glue Docker image. You can run Glue locally with Docker. I have a video in case if you're interested, you can go ahead and watch it, okay? So here I'm gonna create my Spark session. So I'm gonna run this cell. As you can see, it's starting the Spark session. And let me just print, okay, so that means I know it's ready. All right, it is ready. Right, so let's get started with the first part. So we'll need this library called Athena Usage Matrix Extractor. I wrote this library years and years back, so we're gonna use this library over here. So I'm gonna install that using pip, as you can see over here. Now I'm gonna create a Hudi table called as Athena Queries Hudi. This will have all these columns, and I have defined their data types such as catalog, databases, for example, the query that ran on that, right? The state of that query, work group, total execution time in milliseconds, etc., etc. So all these are the important data points, okay? And then here I'm saying using Hudi, and my primary key is going to be query execution ID, and my precom key is also going to be query execution ID. This is the path where I'll store my Hudi data lake, as you can see over here. So I'm gonna create this table, and you will see this will automatically sync with Glue Hive Metastore. So I'm gonna run this. Again, since I'm doing it locally, it could be a little slow, okay? So just wanted to make sure I let you know that, because I'm running on Docker, right? So this cell is now in the running state, as you can see. But in the meanwhile, if I go to my Glue, I do not have any table with that particular name. Athena usage, I do not have any table with that name, right? So let me go to my lab again. This query is now executed, as you can see. Let's see if we do see a table in the Glue Metastore. Here you can see that's the table and the appropriate columns. So yep, the table has been created in the Glue Hive Metastore. All right, so now what, man? Now piece of cake, right? So here we're gonna create an instance of a class Athena Usage Extractor. I'm gonna put in my AWS access key. I'm gonna put my AWS secret key. And then for whatever date you want to ingest the data, for example, let's say I want to get all the Athena matrix, or all these matrix, let's say for the work group primary, right? Assuming, I'm just giving you an example, for the date, this one, right? So then we go to the lab. I'm gonna change this to 7, for example. Again, you can pass in the current datetime object and you can run in a loop. So I'm just showing you an example, right? So what I want to do is I want to pause the video. I'm going to paste my access and secret key, and then I'm going to directly go to the next cell, because again, I do not want to disclose my access key. So I'm pausing the video. I'll paste simply my access secret keys, and then I'll resume the video. All right, I am back. I have resumed the video, and I have pasted my access and secret key. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert my data into Athena Query Hudi table, as you can see. See how easy it is, right? I'm simply writing Spark SQL. I'm saying, hey, insert into this Hudi table, select from this. As simple as that, right? Now I'm gonna run the cell, and then again I'm gonna pause because it might take a couple of seconds to run it. So I'm gonna run the cell. So now this will insert the data into the Hudi data lake. Right now on H3, if I go, I do not have any silver folder, as you can see over here. So I'm gonna wait for the execution of this cell to complete, and then I'm gonna resume the video. All right, the execution is complete for this particular cell. And if I now go to H3 over here and simply refresh here, I do see my silver. I do see Athena query table. I see it's partitioned by database name. So if you, whatever database you have in Glue, it will be partitioned by that. So that way it becomes easy to filter and slice and dice the data. I see my Parquet and the metadata. Lovely. Now you can get fancy for the analysis. Again, remember, I have a demo account, so I do not have that many queries ran on that. So yeah, you're not gonna see the numbers really big. But for a production account, you will really see amazing insights, okay? All right, so for example, calculating total data scanned by work groups in Athena query. So you can run this query, and this query does a simple group by and shows you the total amount of data scanned by that work group. So now you know which work group is using Athena the most, right? So that's that particular query over here. And as you can see, the results, Sawmill work group, total byte scan was 135, primary work group, this many bytes were scanned. This is total in general, everything, okay? Now you can also do something like count of queries executed by work groups in Athena. So which work group is running the most amount of maximum number of queries in Athena, right? So that way you know which work group is using Athena the most, right? You can also slice this by date dimension, right? For example, now you can see, okay, this work group, when he or she is running these queries, in the morning, in the night, which particular day, right? So all that you can again do, I am showing you simply the big picture over here. So that's that. Now you can go and say, hey, you know, average query execution time by work group. What is the average, you know, if you want to know what is the average execution time for a work group, you can do that, right? Then you can say, you know, Athena query performance analysis by work group. So here you can see the work group name, number of queries that work group ran in total, right? Average execution time in millisecond, and total data scan, right? So this also shows you, okay, how much money was spent by the particular work groups for Athena, right? You can do all of that over here, right? You can also do performance analysis of Athena queries by work group. So here you get a little more detailed view, right? This particular query shows you, you know, for a given Glue database, how many queries are ran, how much is the total data scan for that particular Glue database. You can do all sort of interactive analytics here now. Success query, how many queries were succeeded, how many queries failed. You can do everything, right? And I think there's a little more, but I want to show you this one. Athena queries by time. So let's say you wanna know, you know, how many queries are ran against the time, right? So now you can see, okay, month over month, is my Athena usage increasing, decreasing? Is it the same? Year over year, what does it look like? So you can derive a lot of important values from this. So that's all I have. If you go to the blog over here, there's a link to this notebook. So if you click here, if I simply open it up, you will see all the code over here as well. So that's all I have for the video. I hope you have enjoyed. I hope this video was informative. If so, make sure to like the channel, like the video, of course, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll try my best if you have any questions to answer them, you know. With that being said, keep smiling, keep programming, and I'll see you next time.